149, Lucas. 149.
That is some terrible dead dancing right there from both of us. Pretty bad.
They
Yes,
love it.
we are here for episode 149, and we have pretty big news today. We have found out that there will be a British OCR Championship event in 2023. This will cater for adults. Obviously, they held a junior OCR Championship in 2022, a very successful one by all.
Yeah, it was good.
Everything
Good.
by it.
It was very good, actually. Good experience to be there, to be fair.
Good. So they will be holding basically a national OCR championship next year. We did hear that this would happen and it would be in October time, but we didn't have any information. So basically now we have that information.
We have all that information.
Not all of it, but pretty much as much as we're going to get right now. So it will be hosted by Spartan Race. So the thoughts were true. Spartan will be hosting it. So, as we've mentioned in the past,
They always go on a lot longer than I thought they were going. I thought I was going to tail off, and it never did. I was like, this is still going.
So I think we chatted before that Spartan have hosted national championships in the past. Most recently of note was the Swiss one in Verbier last year. Notably, they also have hosted the US OCR Federation Championship race in 2017 and 2018, with some very familiar faces adorning the podiums at these events.
So what you're basically saying, Luke, is we knew it was coming. Just it wasn't confirmed.
Pretty much. So it will take place on Sunday, the 8th of October, during the London South Trifecta weekend at Pippingford Park. The course will be 12k in distance and run.
Interesting.
It is. And will be run under classic cross-country OCR rules with 25 plus obstacles. Mm-hmm. So you say interesting because the event on the 8th, which is the Sunday at that event, is a super race, which generally,
is 10k.
As Spartan standard, is 10k. So there will be some adjustments to the length of the course. And by the sounds of some of the information we have, there will be adjustments to the race.
Right, so here's how we're going to do this, Luke. I'm going to pepper, for someone that hasn't actually read this, I'm going to pepper some questions at you, and you're going to do your very best to answer these questions.
Right, you say you haven't read this, but you have been sent this information.
No, I have read it. But for the sake of this podcast, I'm going to pepper some questions.
Okay, you tell me, and I'll do my very best. Hence, I am not on British Obstacle, so I may not know all the answers, but I have the info.
Fine. Right, so here we go. So first question I think that is going to come to people's minds, is it a Spartan-style race? So are we going to have Spartan obstacles to contend with?
Right, so this is the information. The national championships will differ from a Spartan race. British Obstacle will be able to use both terrain and obstacles in different ways to standardise Spartan race courses. While the course may be familiar for those who have taken part in Spartan before, you can expect to see a number of surprises on course.
Right, so what I get from that is we're going to be running the super course, potentially some areas where it might just break off for a few hundred metres and break off here for a few hundred metres, maybe do a different rig, a different obstacle, and come back onto the traditional Spartan course. That's how I see it.
I have a feeling that whole super event, apart from the open wave, will just be this race.
Right, so it's not going to be a Spartan 10k under Spartan regulations, and then a non-Spartan UK race separately.
Yeah, and as we go through these points, it probably will
make more sense.
It's so. Just my thinking is that there is qualification for the elite style entry for this race.
Yes.
that will differ from Spartan's elite qualification.
Okay, so you have to be at a certain level in the UK to compete at this particular wave.
I have been told that the qualification for elite will be pretty difficult.
Yes.
It will not be a straight.
So you can't buy your way in, and you
no.
and you can't dance your way in.
So obviously, we know Spartan for the elite wave, you basically just pay the upgrade to go
Become elite.
to elite,
Yeah.
And you can race.
Yeah. Although this last couple of years they have trialled the you have to have the code, don't you? So you have to have raced an age group and got a certain distance, but still, in general,
that code isn't here this year. The only way, so we don't actually know the specifics of the qualification, but we will do, I'm sure, very shortly from British Obstacle. So, do you have to be British to compete? The British Obstacle Championships is open to all British Obstacle members. I'm asking the questions
here, not you. Do you have to be British?
So it's open to all British Obstacle Sport members who are either UK residents or British citizens.
Okay.
So you have to be basically you have to be a member of British Obstacle.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you are a UK resident, I believe to become a member of British Obstacle, you have to have lived here for a certain amount of time, but you can be. But
yes,
say you are coming from Germany to compete or Portugal. Obviously, we get Samuel Castor come over and a few other guys from Europe come over for the Spartan events. I don't think they're going to be able to compete under these rules because they're probably members of their own federation in their country.
And rightfully so, right? Like, we love people coming over and we love the competition being harder, but this is a true British championships, right? We want to know who the best British athletes are out there, women and men, yeah?
Yeah, no, I think, and obviously I'm sure the federations in their countries are going to hold their own events. So we're going to see the best Polish athlete, the best French athlete, the best Spanish athlete. So, yeah, I guess British Obstacle are doing it the right way. They're doing it a federated way where you do see this in road race championships, triathlon championships. It is how it's done. So
also another question that sort of you just announced there that's made me sort of my ears prick up. You said at the start of the podcast, you said a typical cross-country style rules. What do they mean by that? What can we determine for that?
So yeah, the way they've written it is you run under classic cross-country OCR rules. So
okay, so what's that mean?
I believe World Obstacle class all the different styles of OCR as differing variants. So you'd have your
track.
Yeah, well, you'd have your track,
ninja.
You'd have your beach, you'd have your short course.
Okay.
So
cross country is what, as we know, like what Spartan would put on across the field, basically.
Yeah, I would say cross country is your classic OCR. I wouldn't even really call that Spartan per se, but it's obviously the same terrain. It's going to be the same obstacle spacing, but to my mind, you're thinking toughest. You're thinking strong Viking style, you're thinking like nuts, nuclear, a cross-country style race, and it spread obstacles throughout. So Spartan obviously is its own kind of specialized one that you're going to know if you go to a Spartan mostwhere around the world, you'll see the same obstacles. Yeah. So I think that this just means that they're going to have some different obstacles. It may not all be. They're obviously going to lean heavily on Spartan for certain obstacles, maybe the rigs, maybe they'll bring other rigs in as well, or other style of devices to challenge us in different ways. So,
I think from my personal opinion, and this is probably not the opinion of most people, but my personal thing, that the race has to, like Spartan, I think we've said it for a long time now, it is tough. And there's things that make Spartan tough, don't get me wrong. But as an obstacle race, certain obstacles are not tough. You know, like, okay, we've got the spear, I know that. And they might even take the spear out of this race, I don't know it. They might see that as a non-standardised obstacle, I don't know. That's up to debate. But I generally think they have to put in a potential low rig, a potential more of a multi-rig, so you've got more than just rings. For me to be able to brand someone as the best in Britain at OCR, there has to be those multifaceted things that we actually haven't got in Spartan. My opinion, you know.
Yeah, and I think if we rewind to 2016, that was the
Yep.
last time I don't know, or I don't know if it's federated. I just think a national championship was held. One
Yep.
of the main talking points from that time was how hard the final rig was.
Yeah.
Basically, I think that changed a lot of people's races. That was
Did you do it?
No,
Did you race it? No.
I didn't. That was literally the first year I found OCR. So
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a championship. I just ran open wave at Spartan and stuff, and then I tried to go elite the year after. So I only heard about this event, so I never actually went there. But I heard it was a pretty brutal rig at the end. But I guess maybe now a lot more people do rigs, so it may not be as brutal.
But that's also like probably a whole other podcast. But what I'm saying is, that is true. So many RDs go, oh my God, the race is so easy. We've got to throw a really hard rig in. Let's do it at the end. Why do RDs do that? Like, walls at the start is a big annoyance for me. Why does the wall have to be at the start? And secondly, why do you have to put hardest rig at the very end? It doesn't have to be that way. I just think that's possibly RDs not really using their imagination enough. It can be difficult in different ways, like where you put the rig. You know, maybe you want to put, okay, you got the classic mud, water, let's put a heavy rig in there. Not a good idea. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to get a lot of people with mud on their hands, stuff like that. That's a placement makes it hard, after a hill, maybe, after a downhill, maybe, like in long grass, in short,
Yeah.
Use your imagination a bit more, guys. Don't just put the hardest rig you've got at the very end to make it the most fun, because 9 times out of 10, it actually bores races, because you get to that end and you have everyone at the end just like fatigued and can't do it, right?
Yeah, I think it's hard in OCR, like being an RD, because you generally don't have enough lanes on every obstacle to fit 20, 30. How many people are going to sign up for this? 50, 60
What do you
people?
reckon?
All right. Yeah, quite a lot.
If they're going to make it hard to get in, right, so it's going to be pretty tough to actually qualify. And let's say hard, we don't know what that means yet, do we? But let's just say, men's side. Now, let's go to women's side because it's a little bit smaller. For me, there's 15 elite, I say that in brackets, top end women in the UK, 15 to 20. And then you have probably another 10 to 15 that would possibly call themselves elite, but they'd be happy to say I'm more of an age grouper, top end age grouper. So you've only got sort of 25, 30 on the women's side that are actually going for this properly.
So, but imagine having a rig early on and having still about 20 ladies trying to get on that rig.
Oh no, 100%.
So I think the placement sometimes does have to be a little further into the race, a bit deeper. And then I think a lot of races want the rig to be near the finish so you can watch it.
Yeah.
Just in my mind, that's how.
Yeah. So it's more where people can actually go and watch it.
Because OCR, the courses aren't really overly spectator friendly sometimes when you get out into the bush.
Especially Spartan.
Yeah, they send you off up some hills, out into the bush and stuff. And
bush? Where are you? Australia?
Well,
good day, Luke. Jeez, mate. Going in the bush.
They send you out into the trees, into the foliage. Sorry, Jack. The foliage.
There we go. Get your cup of tea out, mate. Foliage.
Well, so yeah, they got to mix it up. But so you've hit on qualifying. So what their British OCR have said, yes, qualification is necessary, or you can be given a wild card entry into the Elites National Championships.
Can we just do a stop the podcast there? What the fuck is a wild card? Right, we've spoken about this before. What's a wild card, and who the hell gets a wild card, and who even picks that shit? Like we've agreed before, John Alban is always one of those that we're going to say he has to race. He's the best British guy out there by far. He's world class, world class above anyone else in the UK. Sorry, everyone else. He's world class.
Oh
right?
yeah, John Alban is world class.
However, here's my true opinion of now where the OCR is going. If John wants to get off his arse and come and race a race in England, he has to qualify. Pure and simple. He'll do it. I'm sorry if that means money. I'm sorry if that means coming to race a shitty race. Everyone else has to do it. He has to do it. I don't think we should be giving John Alban a wild card anymore. What do you think? And I say John because he's the obvious.
Yeah, don't pick on poor John.
Sorry, John.
You're going to sign him up to.
I love you, but
you're going to sign him up to like a Sunday sprint of Spartan and make him fly all the way out there.
100%. Yes, if you want to be UK champion and freight, you have to go through everything else. We have to do it. We have to go. Oh God, we're going to have to go down on a Friday, pay for a hotel, do this. Everyone else does it.
It is true, but.
And then who picks the wild cards?
Well, I think the wild card will be done by the British Obstacle Committee, probably the same committee that are going to pick wild cards or selection entry for FISO, which we touched on.
I'm only joking.
Before.
I'm only making a bit of mess.
But
let John race. Screw him. Let him pick everyone.
I think right now, where we are, it's the first kind of one. I think wild cards are probably a necessary thing, even if they don't, they may not even get used.
Do you know what a wildcard says to me? A wildcard says to me, we're putting an event on, but we're going to shit ourselves that no one good turns up, so then we're going to give races free. That's what a wildcard says to me. It says like, oh, we're going to put this event on, but not many people are going to be happy that it's at Spartan, so screw it, we're going to have to invite the top 10 guys because we're not going to get them anyway. Well, that's what a wildcard says to me.
No, let's be fair. This event, the day before, on the Saturday, is the final of the Spartan series.
Yeah, so, and how many people are going to do that?
I think quite a lot of people. I don't know how many. I don't know how deep the elite field is going to be.
And can I also point out, some small little business called Ventry has also put the World Champ race, a Ventry World Champ, on the same weekend.
Well, yeah. Yes, that is a...
So I suppose our first question is, who is actually going to pick a UK Championship race at Spartan? When we say Spartan, they're using Spartan's facility. They're using Spartan's...
Spartan are hosting the event.
Hosting, that's the great word.
They're the hosts. They're putting
We've already established that it might not be a Spartan race per se, but who is going to choose to go and do that over going to California?
I think a lot of people.
Interesting question.
I think a lot.
Tell us, who, what would you rather do? What would you rather do?
We'll put a poll on the Instagram, and
that's a good shout. I like that, Lucas. Always thinking, using your login, and you can see through the foliage.
You can let us know. So we'll continue with qualification. So age group qualification for the national championships. There will not be qualification requirements for 2023 beyond the requirement to have raced in at least 2 competitive license OCR races in the UK in 2022 and 2023.
Okay, so from now, basically.
Yeah, so competitive license OCR. I'm guessing a Spartan is?
Spartan, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming after that it would be any company like, for instance, Nuts.
Nuclear.
Obstacle.
I'm guessing
federated.
Anybody that's included in this series is probably a federated race. But it does say details will be included on the British OCR Championship qualification page.
And I'm assuming that will possibly class as the Scottish as well. So like your Mutt Tough, your Tartan Warrior, because obviously they wouldn't run to our affiliations, do they? Or is it all in the same place?
As in...
So, say for instance, if you had like Gavin Holgarth, who's obviously Scottish, he can come and race the British UK champs, obviously, because he's within Britain.
The Alpine Britain, mate.
He can, exactly, that's what I'm saying. But he can qualify in Scotland under one of the Scottish OCR races. That's what I'm getting at.
I'm sure. I'm sure the Scottish series is still under the British Obstacle Sports Federation. I'm sure it's still being run by them, and it must be a licensed race, I'm guessing. So, prize money and age group awards. There will be prize money for the top 3 male and female elite winners, and there will be podium trophies for all age groups. Age groups range from under 20 to over 60.
Right.
At an increment of 4 years, so 20 to 24, 25 to 29, all the way up to 60.
Did you say under 16?
No.
Or from 16?
Under 20 to over 60.
Okay, because I'm just wondering, because obviously they do a UK Junior Championships, I wonder what the cut-off age is from a youth.
Well, that is the next question. Athletes must be 18 plus on the day of the event to take part in the British OCR Championships.
So why do they say under 20? Just say above 18. Jesus.
The next line. those between the ages of 14 and 17
Yeah.
may submit an application to race in the under 20 or elite category, subject to qualification.
Oh.
Details will be shared prior to registration opening. And then they also say that they have the junior championship, which goes from 10 to 17. So if you do have an athlete under the age of 20,
I'll give you two examples.
you may want to
Libby, obviously, and then Finley Greenleaf. You know, two examples where they're so good at their age group, they really should be that next level up, but don't know whether they should or not. You know, there's good examples of who might want to qualify for that.
Yeah, so in their eyes, if you're their coach or their parent, maybe you want to look into submitting the application via British Obstacle Sports.
Yes.
There isn't much info out about how to submit or anything yet, but
I'm sure
there is information. Adaptive athletes can compete, so they may need to contact British Obstacle Sports for further details, but they can compete in the event.
Sweet.
Boom, boom, boom. So there will be a non-competitive wave at the National Championship.
Interesting.
Open wave for those who do not want to run competitively or those who wish to take part from overseas. Hence why we think that it is just under British license. You have to be a British thing.
So here's my other question to that before you move on to the next fact. Does this cost for elite and age groupers? Is there a cost to this? Have they announced the cost?
Boom, 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 boom.
Because I'm assuming as they've got an open wave, there is going to be a cost.
Right. There isn't specifically a cost announced, but I'm sure that this event will need to be funded, and probably it does say registration will open on January 19th exclusively for British Obstacle Sport members. So.
Because this is the other thing, right? And this is a conversation we can have on the podcast, and we can have this. Forget this for the minute. Like, if you want to...
Just before you move on quickly,
go.
Just about cost and fees. So if you do hold a Spartan season pass or an Unbreakable pass, this will not allow it to gain you access. So you
have to pay a separately for this.
So this is a standalone event hosted by Spartan, and also if you are racing that weekend, it will not count towards your trifecta. So which probably means they're not going to use the same Spartan Super thing. But this is not a Spartan race; it is a standalone event, so it will not count towards your trifecta. However, it will still be feasible to run the Spartan Super race non-competitively. So there will be a Spartan Super
wave,
open wave, although...
So there is no Spartan Super Elite. So if we went onto the Spartan website now...
I'm on the Spartan website.
Right, can you buy an Elite Super race?
At this current time, yes.
You can.
It says, well, I haven't tried. I don't want to part with the money.
No.
I can.
Tight bastard. But what I'm basically saying is currently right now...
on the website...
You can go and race a Spartan Elite. I mean, Spartan make mistakes all the time. It could be a mistake. But what I'm getting at is, at the minute, the UK Championship race is nowhere to be seen on that Spartan page, no? No,
currently not yet. It still says Spartan Super 10K, 25 obstacles, Elite £99, age group 94.
But I suppose, Luke, that's because as of this minute, this is recording Thursday. Obviously, the information goes out Friday, which is today.
It goes out today at 5 o'clock.
Sorry, so that was yesterday because this is going out now, isn't it, today? So, very confused. But as we stand on Thursday... the information hasn't gone out yet because we're recording at 11 o'clock in the morning.
We were recording before.
Spartan haven't announced anything yet. It will be announced, obviously. But if I didn't want to do, and this is my question, the UK Champs, but I still wanted to do an Elite Super, is that going to be possible?
Can
me and you race a Spartan race at that super distance on that weekend? Yes or no? Do we not know?
Something that I do not know.
Okay.
My feeling from the information that we have is no.
Yeah, so the Super will be this particular race
I believe so.
with added obstacles.
I don't think that they're going to be able to run a national championship, go through all of like the refereeing, the judging, have these extra 2K, have different obstacles on course. If they
Yeah.
do, we don't know if they will, but there does say surprises, and also run alongside a normal elite super wave. So I don't know what's going to happen for people that have signed up specifically for elite already in that race, or for age group, because on the website it says 1 left at this price and 23 left at this price in age group.
Yeah, but that's just marketing, isn't it? They basically mean there's thousands are left. They're just saying.
But I'm sure people have signed up for it. I'm also sure maybe people have brought a trifecta pass to compete that weekend. So it'd be interesting to know what information will come.
Luke, I'm going to open my door 8 while you're talking to me.
Well, so that's pretty much the information we have about the national championships. More will become available in due course, I'm very sure, and we will comment on those.
Anything else to say, Luke? Anything else? What else is there that we haven't mentioned?
I guess just our personal opinion. I'm pretty glad that they're doing a OCR national championship.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I think it's a necessary thing for a federation. It's necessary for a sport. While it's not the be all and end all. As a sport, OCR will be able to grow massively without having one, but it does give a pinnacle of the sport. It gives an idea for people coming into the sport of like how high it can go. I'd kind of say if you look at other sports like triathlon and running and stuff, the national championship is kind of is always been incorporated in races anyway, and unless you're in that sport, it's not massive, or it's not really. I find the brand championships are always quite in your face. They're a lot bigger. You always hear about Ironman championships, European, world championships. So to have this federated race, I think it's going to be quite big in the UK. I think we will get a lot of people going.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I'm the first to knock Spartan most times. But what I will say is give them a chance. Don't just see the fact that they're using Spartan and go, oh my God, it's going to be a shitty Spartan race, blah, 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 spear throw this, spear throw that. Do you know what I mean? Like, give them a chance, right? Give them a chance. Like, I honestly do think that the British obstacle, whoever runs it, because we don't really know who's running this. We know that James is obviously a massive part of it, James Burton, that is, but we don't know who the RD is. We don't know if they're going to bring someone else in. I mean, I have my personal opinion who they'll use as an RD. I think I've got an idea who will be there. And that's Michael Nolan, I think, because they've used him a lot recently. He's a big part of the British obstacle now. They're moving. So I think Michael Nolan, he's obviously got a lot to do with Spartan. So whether he will become the RD for this particular race, I think that's what's going to happen. Give him a chance, because I think what's going to happen is they will try and mix it up so it won't just be a Spartan race. I do think that. I generally think give him a chance. Don't just see Spartan and run a mile. Yeah. I mean, I might be mistaken. It might just be Spartan Beast, and we'll all be Spartan Super, and we'll all be going, "Oh, for God's sake, really?" But I don't know.
No pressure there, Michael. No pressure at all.
That's just my personal opinion. It might not be Michael at all. I might get horribly wrong. I'll probably get a message off him.
He's going to be like, "You've just called me out. Everyone's messaging me."
Yeah. Not at all. That's just my personal opinion. But
well, we will continue the Spartan theme, and we will chat about some championship events that Spartan have held.
Hold on. Yeah. Come on, mate. We're getting down to the 2023, innit?
Dun, dun, dun.
Blah, blah.
So there has been 2 championship events recently. Both championships in the elite field were held at the 10K distance. So one was the World Championships in Abu Dhabi. Can you tell me, Jack, what the second championship race was?
I wasn't actually listening. Sorry, what?
Useless.
I just want you birds
So,
going on.
this is what I've got to work with, guys. So, Spartan have held 2 championship races very recently in the last 30 days. One was the Spartan Race World Championships in Abu Dhabi.
What was the other?
What was the other, Jack?
Was I there?
No, you were not there.
Mate, you lost me. What was it?
So, it was the APAC Championship, the Asia Pacific Championship.
You should have just asked me the way around. I would have got the Abu Dhabi one. God. Jesus Christ.
It was.
Mate, I've been ill for the last week. I've just shut myself off for everything.
So, we'll do the APAC first because Jack doesn't even know it exists. So, it was the APAC Championship. It was held in Thailand, in Phuket. So, this was pretty much Singapore, Thailand, Japan, China, Australia, New Zealand, India, basically athletes from the Asia Pacific region, the countries that make up that region, they were racing for their regional title, as we did at European Championships in Pippingford this year. These guys all turned up. Interestingly, though, this was also a super distance, so over 10K. And a guy that has been successful in this field and has won a second APAC championship, Liam McKenzie, took the title.
Where's Liam from?
I believe he's from New Zealand.
Okay.
I may have got that wrong. He could be from Australia. So, sorry, Liam, if I got that wrong. He's from Australia. So, there we go.
Oh, mate.
The flags.
That's 2 Australians we've had now on this podcast.
There we go. The flags are very small, and
that's terrible. Sorry, guys.
That was a terrible accent. But
put another shrimp on the barbie.
So Liam won in 50 minutes 58 seconds. Halvad Boshem came second in 52:26. Halvad is Norwegian, but he is living out of Dubai. So again, he has a Dubai flag against his, but he's actually Norwegian. Sanjay Nigi came third. I believe he's from India in 55:06. So pretty lightning quick. You had the top 6 guys all went under an hour on the 10K course. We'll shout out Chris Davis coming 6th in that. He is a Brit living in Hong Kong. So that was pretty rapid. We'll quickly shout out the ladies as well. So a couple of Japanese athletes took 1 and 2 on the podium, and I believe that is a Filipino flag came third. So this is going to be interesting. Rika Kimjama first, Honka Janaza second, Maratas Unkayo third. So I will apologise to all athletes who I've just absolutely butchered their names. But well done, guys. Some absolutely amazing racing from you guys. And I believe the first Brit who is living out in that area in Singapore was Iona Jade Errington. She came 8th in that event. So well done to her. And then we will flip around to the event that Jack knew existed, the World Championships in Abu Dhabi.
Obviously, everyone's probably seen the highlights and watched it anyway, but good race. What do you think?
Yeah, I've only really watched highlights. I haven't gone back and watched the full race yet. So I
did. I watched the full race. I was probably immersed in it. Women and men. It pretty much went the way I thought it was going to go. There's a couple of surprises. On the men's side, definitely. I think we called Lindsay, didn't we, on the women's side? We didn't think there was going to be anyone nearer, and let's be fair, there wasn't.
It wasn't.
I mean, 2nd through to 5th was pretty close, but Lindsay took a good couple of minutes out of the field, didn't she?
Yeah, Lindsay won by basically a clear 2 a clear 2 minutes on second place.
Yeah.
And second place was
Alyssa Petrova?
no,
Esther.
So it was Lindsay Webster, Esther Hortobagova, and Alyssa Petrova. So Alyssa was only 30-ish seconds or so behind Esther, so that was pretty close.
It was pretty close after that. That was a good little race, actually.
Yeah. So,
but on the men's side,
Sergei Pellegrini takes his first world championship.
He was hungry,
title.
wasn't he? Let's be fair. I mean, we watched him, didn't we, last year at Abu Dhabi? I mean, obviously we were still racing, but when we look back at the highlights, I personally think from last year he's been so hungry to beat Ryan because I think he was so close.
Oh yeah,
he knew he could do it. So I think this year his game plan was to stay with Ryan, and then I don't know if you watched the actual. You said you watched highlights. I don't know if they showed the bit, but basically when they got to that lake little bit where there was like a bit like how they do the Costa Mile in England, there was like a segment on the lake where it's the fastest time around the lake. You could see he looked round, he just went. It was like, this is my time to go.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go now, I've got to go. And he did go. And I think he caught Ryan out a little bit. I mean, we'll probably get Ryan on and we'll chat about it in the future. But I think he caught Ryan on. I think Ryan was a bit like, shit, he's laying down some pace here.
He's gone.
That I can't maintain. And I think we always know that Ryan is not the fastest athlete out there. He's the most all-round, don't get me wrong, and he's world-class at that. But I think for pure leg speed, Sergei just had it and Ryan didn't quite, and it took him a little while to catch back, and the problem with the Super, as you know, Luke, it's over like that. Unlike a beast where you can game change on a hill or something, or sand or whatever it is,
you can pull
with a Super, unfortunately, there's less distance to run between obstacles or less obstacles. Ryan almost needed another carry, another obstacle to come back into it, and he just run out of real estate at the end of the day.
Well, he was only 12 seconds back. So he was fighting to the very end and very close. But Sergei takes his first Spartan Race World Championship in his second attempt. So he has a pretty crazy record.
1-2.
At 1 and 2.
Yeah. Which I saw Jack Bauer put up today, didn't he? On his Instagram
Jack
post,
Bauer put some cool stats up about all the guys.
Which is a bit harsh because he's only done 2 races because he hasn't raced outside of the US, obviously. But
in the US.
Sorry, he's raced outside the US, Here's a question for you then, Luke. So do you think if Sergei had raced in the US, do you think we'd see better stats from Sergei? Do you think he's that good?
I think he'd definitely be up there, but I just think the US terrain kind of suits a lot more of the US-based athletes.
And John.
That's
the only thing we can sort of put it up against, isn't it? We've seen Sergei against John an awful lot in like Italy, Andorra, these other European races and champs we've had. We've always seen John come out on top on Sergei. So we know roughly that
apart from last
year, we know roughly that
he'd be in and around. He'd be a top 5. He'd be top 3, top 5 to top 3 definitely. So it was Sergei, Ryan, and then it was Jeremy Gachet.
Well done, Jeremy.
Well done,
awesome,
Jeremy.
Awesome run.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because I beat him at the European Champs in England, so it's a bit weird to think that I beat someone that's come top 3 in the World Champs, but hey, there you go.
He was obviously
in the same month almost.
So Jeremy obviously raced at the European Championship, then he went and raced the trifecta. I don't believe he finished the whole trifecta World Championship.
I think he was struggling.
I think he pulled out of the last race because there was some issues. But he's obviously gone to Abu Dhabi.
Fuck it.
Oh, he's gone at the age of 44 as well. Jeremy
the guy is
Gachet,
incredible shape. I've got a bit of a man crush on him. He's my French man crush. The guy he's wicked.
So Jeremy, shout out to him. So 4th place, an athlete that we know quite well, who's raced in the UK quite a lot this year, Gregor Sletsnina.
Yeah.
Definitely, absolutely crushed that
Greg,
last name.
Big G.
Big G. So
Bob.
He came 4th. He was only about 30 seconds or so behind Jeremy. So that was an amazing run for him.
He's an incredible runner, isn't he? We ran against him at Spartan in England, haven't we? He runs really odd, but he's just got such a quick turnover.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, he's the Barbarian owner, is he? Is that him?
Yes, he runs the Barbarian race in Poland.
So he's pretty tidy. He's pretty tidy.
He's also the Polish national champion.
There we go. So,
So
yeah.
there's he's got some pedigree.
Throw some names out that we thought might do better. Let's pick VJ Jones. What happened
Well,
with
yeah,
VJ?
this
I'd love
just
to talk to VJ because I
yeah.
actually had him nailed on to win this race, so I'm not sure what happened there.
So VJ actually came down in 11th,
Which is crazy, crazy.
which I'm going to say is disappointing for him.
Yeah,
Like it
he sound like
is.
his dad. VJ, I'm so disappointed in you.
I actually feel disappointed. I am. I'm a little
That's getting clipped up
disappointed.
for sure.
So I. It's more the fact that we just know VJ could do so much better. Like we had him pegged in as like a second, a third, a
I
first.
thought, yeah, I generally did
Um,
think that he would give Ryan the run for his money, and then Sergey would be somewhere close.
but
I didn't see him being back there.
but let's be fair. Look, Ryland Schley came sixth.
Yeah.
VJ came 13th. Um, can the Americans run in the heat? Is this something? Because
This is supposed to be VJ, man. It's like I think and we know this, right? And I think they all there's a laugh in there, but they shit themselves when they come out of America. Look at Greece that first year. You know, no American finished in the top 5 or top 10. It was
true.
crazy. And I think also they underestimate the Europeans, how good people like. I know Richard Hynek was a name that didn't run because of injury, but like Richard Hynek, Gregory wasn't there. If Gregory Basilico had been there, we would have had another top 3 racer
Yeah,
there.
we thought he was gonna be there. Also, VJ and Ryland haven't run against Sergey. Probably haven't run against Gregors.
Any of those guys.
They're maybe in the past, but obviously Ryland, he actually raced at the Trifecta World Championships as well.
Yep.
So he's had a lot of traveling, a lot of racing since a big travel from America. Maybe,
Makes you wonder whether it does catch up on you, doesn't
yeah,
it?
maybe that has. And obviously VJ, I'm not sure what his prep was before this, but if he's just come straight from the US to here, it's a long distance, or not to here, to Abu Dhabi, but that's a long distance. So they're the
For a
kind of
10K
ones.
as well.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's why we gave VJ the opportunity because it was only 10K. Like a beast, we're always going to say, like, you know,
Well, I put Atkins on a beast.
Atkins there, 100%. But with that 10K distance, we all thought VJ might have brought out the big guns, you know.
Yeah,
But
I thought he would have, but I'm sure
a reasonably flat as well.
Yeah,
I know it was rolling, but it wasn't like we didn't have any bloody
it-
Jews like we had.
it was under what 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure he'll come back, and I'm sure he'll absolutely light the world on fire next year. I think this 3K, he is going to decimate the Spartan 3K
Yeah,
scene.
100%.
So I'm sure there'll be a big rebound from
And there's
him.
probably a part of that as well. Like he probably didn't, although this was a focus, it probably wasn't really his main focus. He's probably thinking, do you know what I mean? Last race of the year. I noticed this when we were there last year. All the top pros, you know, your Ryan Atkins, your John Evans, your Lindsay Webster, they're all thinking next year. They're already thinking like, oh, Christmas, time off. You know, you don't know if that has a factor.
Hey,
You know,
To be fair, it's a long season. When did they normally start in
early
February?
March. Yeah,
February,
yeah.
March in America.
Yeah.
So they're racing. I think before it was normally Jacksonville. They're starting quite early. The US series. So that's a long year. That's almost 12 months. It's like, yeah, you're looking 10 months of real hard training. I'm sure they're going periodizations. They're training up to events, but yeah,
I'm going
that's
to put you on
hard.
the spot, Luke. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh.
British athletes, here we go.
So Jason Brunnock.
Oh, bloody hell, he's got them. Impressive. Well done.
I knew it was coming. So Jason Brunnock was the first British athlete on the male side. He was 24th in an hour and 20. Fergal Keeney was 2 minutes behind Jason in 26th place.
Oh, you already get a small clap. Sorry,
No.
sorry, Fergal.
And I don't know how many male elites raced.
I think that was it from the Man League side of things. The British, wasn't it? They're the Ocean Age group, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, we'll shout out Chris Davies, who also raced there
Yeah.
after racing in the APAC.
Yeah.
He came 34th, 1 hour 29. So we're going to flip to the ladies, and First female from the ladies' side, a British female, I believe, was Andrea in 12th position. Although
I think she failed 2 obstacles as well, didn't she?
Oh, so that's why she's.
I asked her. Yeah, I asked her. Yeah.
They also have her as an American flag on there, Spartan.
How dare they?
Sort that out, Spartan.
How bloody dare they?
Stop stealing our women.
Our best one, and you stole her.
And we'll shout out Anne Reese as well. I'm not overly too familiar with Anne, but she came 19th in an hour and 50, so well done to her. And Iona Jade Errington came 27th. Again? So she
from
also
APAC to Abu Dhabi. Well played.
Yes, we will flip to the
age groups.
We
got a champ, haven't we? We got a world champion.
I believe we have 2.
Ooh.
We'll do the gentleman first. So
I don't know why I wanted that one. Sorry, I was going for this one.
So, world champ Connor Wickens has become world champion in the, I believe it was age group 25 to 29. He is the world champion of. So, shout out to Connor. Also, shout out. What's
really annoying, right, is because the elites did a super and they did a beast. It's very difficult to gauge where they would have come in the elite wave, which is really annoying. So, like, it's interesting to know. It's like, where would they have been if they'd been elite?
Very true, but Liam Mitchell came 4th in that same age group, so well done to him.
That's a tough age group, that is. It's a very tough age group.
So pretty much that age group, so in like the top 15, all 4 of those guys were kind of there, and then there was quite a lot just underneath that, so it seemed like pretty stacked. Declan Trainer came 4th in his age group, from Ireland, obviously. I am 100% sure there was a lot of more age group athletes from the US on the male side, but we're going to flip to the female side so we can find the age group lady who I believe. So, age group 55 to 59, Hangley Sereni. Sorry if I've said that wrong. So she won, and Jan Cooper came 2nd, also a British flag next to that one. So well done to you. And Beth Cooper came 3rd, an American. So that's 2 age group world champions there out in Abu Dhabi for the UK.
That's epic. That's epic, man. I'm going to give him a cheer. Hold on.
Brilliant. So I believe that we have caught up on the majority of stuff that has happened, Jack.
I believe we have.
Over the new news. And we'll bring...
New news?
Yeah. So I think we're going to finish on that one, and we will bring you more news as it comes out, and we'll also be looking to bring you a bit more news from the world of fitness soon. Hopefully we're going to have some guests on from kind of like the fitness and wellness industry, and also we will hopefully be having a return of an episode we did previously on another podcast. If you can guess what podcast that is, drop us a DM.
Indeed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Luke, it's been a pleasure. Never a chore.
Later, guys.
And we've got to play this music.